Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO. 3DO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO retrospective podcast where we talk about all things 3DO, the company, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is Threk. How you doing, Threk?
Oh, Bill, I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's only Tuesday, and it feels like it's been an eternity this week, so that's always a great sign.
Feels like a Tuesday to me.
Yeah. I have no idea why. I think I'm just always tired like usual. So
I think it's because you hate your job.
I don't hate the job. I just hate
the people.
No, I don't even hate my coworkers. It's just one
management.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's always the easiest thing. Yeah. I get it. No biggie.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But other than that, I get paid good, so I can suck it up, I guess.
Well, that's good. At least you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Imagine if you weren't. All right, so I guess we'll just jump straight into the news. There's a decent amount of stuff, more than last week. So the first one I see, this popped up like not that long ago. Game Informer is back.
Thank God. I mean,
well, they were rescued by blockchain developer Gunzilla Games. I've never heard of Gunzilla Games in my entire life.
Couldn't tell you. I heard blockchain and I went, so
yeah. Looking at their website, they have a game. They have a game called Off the Grid, which is just some like AAA battle royale thing, I guess. Yeah, that's all I see. Related to Crytek, maybe? I don't know. But it's cool to see that it's coming back both digitally and in print.
Yeah, the print part is good because I'm always pro physical media in any case.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I'm just a little worried about it now being owned by like a blockchain NFT group.
Yeah, are NFTs even still a thing?
Yeah, apparently.
I remember that phase of time where they were like the hot thing, and now everyone's like realized these things are dumb. People have kind of moved on.
Yeah. So that was funny when that was happening because most people were just dunking on it. When you had like those couple like monkey PFPs being like, "No, this is a great investment." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, pal." And so is fucking crypto. Yeah, how's that turning out for you? But yeah, apparently they have like the entire like archives up there as well, which is really cool. The website's back.
Nice.
And I believe our pal Matt, aka Stormageddon, was working for Game Informer before they shut down. Am I correct on this?
I believe they were part of the Game Informer podcast. I believe they handled like editing or something like that. Apologies, Matt, if I'm getting that wrong.
Yeah, please let us know, Matt. But hopefully this means you got your job back.
Yeah, I know they were. I know they were definitely involved with it in some case. So
yeah, so it's cool to see that it's back. So we'll see if it has any staying power, but it's for the best, right? Speaking of all this, there's a new publication being formed by Jeff Keighley and Christopher Dring called The Game Business. It's described as a next-generation platform-agnostic trade publication designed to illuminate the evolving gaming landscape. It'll deliver regular B2B podcasts. I don't know what B2B means in terms of podcasting, and newsletters, as well as a physical event sent to run alongside the Summer Game Fest. So it's just Jeff Keighley trying to create more of like a gaming press monopoly. That's what it seems like to me.
I'm just trying to figure out how the hell does buy to buy in a podcast work?
Oh, so that would be to be. I looked up. It means business to business.
I know, so this is my inner NASCAR fan talking. I know, like B2B marketing usually it's like, say, like there's the Menards car, like then it always has like a different sponsor on the hood. That's like a B2B. Like technically, Menards is paying for it, but they have a deal with all these different brands to put their logos on the hood of the cars.
And it's the owner of the cars basically like selling the ad space on the car to the companies.
Yeah, to get a little kickback. Like another case too would be like, say, Team Penske is sponsored by Pennzoil, and they get a better deal with the caveat that they only use Pennzoil in their cars during the season.
Okay, interesting.
It's like little things like that. Like that's what B2B usually means. I'm not sure what that would mean in a podcast, but hey, Jeff Keighley's smarter than we are, so.
Maybe. I mean, it's nice to see that he's doing this and that, hopefully it remains impartial. It's just like, I don't want to see more and more of like gaming news, gaming coverage, like be under the eye of Jeff Keighley. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't need to own the whole thing. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about. But my guess is the game business will end up being nothing that we care about. Because if it's B2B, if it's business to business, then it might be, say, like a way for the various video game like publishers and devs to like talk to each other, which I think that is a good thing. More of an open channel for them. But outside of that, don't know. I just saw it and thought it was interesting. Speaking of something, Silk Song gets a minor update, which freaked everybody the fuck out. Or some people out. I forget what it even was. It was just like something in its like Steam page, like some little thing happened and everyone went, "Ooh, does that mean it's coming out?" I'm like, I don't fucking know.
At this point, they're going to just shadow drop it on us.
I've been saying that for like the last year and a half. I'm like, at this point, just shadow drop it.
Don't say a
just
word.
Like,
see if anyone
what,
notices.
like when, no, they'll make a trailer for it, but when it's done, just be like, it's out,
Yeah.
But like, I give Team Cherry a lot of leeway because it's just two guys.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Team Cherry is just two dudes working on it. So it's fine. Let them work on it. It sounded like a very, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be like an expansion for the original Hollow Knight, but then blew up into being just its own separate game. So it was just a very ambitious sort of thing. And since they don't really have a set deadline, they can just work on it.
Yeah.
So it's no big deal. So it's like what'll come out. Silk Song will probably come out before Deltarune gets finished, but
yeah. It's sad because like
I have no hope in Toby Fox though, because what I've heard of the guy is that he's just perpetually lazy and procrastinates everything.
Yeah, he's like one of those brilliant but lazy kind of guys.
Yeah, so and it's whatever. I don't have that much investment anyways, so like I've told people when Deltarune, like when it comes out and it's like in full, I'll play it, but I'm not going to do this chapter thing because I did the first chapter when that dropped, and then it was quite a few years later. I think it was 2 and 3 dropped or something like that, and I was like, I really don't want to play that because I have to go back and replay chapter 1 because I completely forget. So
pretty much, yeah. Because I thought Deltarune 1 was great, like the first part, and then I was like,
yeah, it was awesome.
By the time 2 came out, I'm like, I just don't feel like playing this right now. And then I've just I've resigned myself to I'll play it when it's done.
Yeah, and I'm not even that big of a fan of the original Hollow Knight. I should try it. I should try it again because I never beat it. But I had some issues with it. But I should sit down and give it another try. It's on Game Pass, so it's right there.
I bought it on Switch. I like the art style and I like the setting. It's one of those games that I'm just horrible at, so I'm just not particularly great. But
my favorite part of the game is the map guy's tune that he hums. Like if anybody's played the game, they know that tune. I like it.
Yeah.
But that's really all I got. So Silk Song, I mean, who knows? It very well could shadow drop this year. It could be lining up. Maybe they're lining it up with the Switch 2 launch, which would be kind of big, wouldn't it?
It would.
But we'll find out. We'll find out. Speaking of game launches, Tony Hawk 3 and 4, right? That's coming out this year. I think it's coming out in June, July-ish. I'm very excited for it. There was some controversy about Mr. Bam Margera not being in the game. Tony Hawk made a few phone calls, and Bam Margera is back in.
I saw that. I was like,
Yeah,
it was that easy.
I mean, if Tony wants it, he gets it, I guess. And I looked at it. I looked at Bam's Instagram because I'm like, where is he at right now? Is he doing okay or is he doing shitty? You can never tell. He seems to be doing okay.
I believe someone else is running his social media right now just to keep him away from it. So
That's smart because all I'm really seeing is like him like occasionally taking pictures with people or just like doing shit on half pipes, you know. And he's about halfway to Phil in terms of the fatness. Like he's getting there, but he's not quite there.
He lost a little bit. Like he was
A little
worse
bit
at one point.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're all like, he's eventually going to turn into Phil, you know.
That was one of his biggest fears too, and it's really sad that it's getting there. But that's what.
Well, to be fair, his dad didn't do all the dumb shit that he did.
No, his dad just was a big guy.
Yeah, I love Phil Margera. He's great. I never understood why Bam was like did so much shit to his parents. I'm like, his parents seem like nice people. I never understood it.
Like grain of salt because it's Dr. Phil, but supposedly on the Dr. Phil episode he was on, they went into some of that stuff, but I never watched the whole thing, so I don't really know.
I believe when that was done, Bam was like not doing well, and I think he was trying to do it to get a little bit of attention. But
yeah, that was definitely at his lowest.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're on Dr. Phil, you're at your lowest at that point, you know.
Yeah.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm gonna kill you. Give me $200.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh boy. Anyways, so we're gonna hit the rumor mill real quick because there's two things I want to talk about. The first thing is God of War, right? So there was this whole thing about God of War because the 20th anniversary happened where some people thought they were going to remaster the old games or whatever. Apparently they're not doing that. The rumor is now that they're doing a God of War side story project, but it is set in Greece. So it's during the Greece era, but they're doing like a Ghosts of Sparta, Chains of Olympus style like side story. Which I mean, hey, sounds neat to me. The way it was I think it was Grubb who said it. The way he was describing it was Sony looking into maybe doing some more smaller projects and some more side stuff because they really can't wait 5 to 7 years on like the biggest game ever all the time, you know, like that's not really good for them. So they need to kind of kick up the release cadence a little bit. And the idea of possibly flirting with these kind of smaller projects, you know, like an Astrobot or like a smaller God of War, or maybe bringing back Infamous or, you know, things like that to kind of space out the bigger things would be much better for them and be better for everybody.
Yeah.
So, and apparently it could be set. I mean, it is this year is the 20th anniversary. So apparently it's coming out this year. But it's not like what the big thing Santa Monica's been working on, which I've heard mixed on if Santa Monica's making the next God of War in like a totally new era or like a totally new place like Egypt or something, or if they're making a new IP. I've heard a little bit of both. So, but it seems like Kratos next would be like tackling the Egyptian gods, I think. I think that's what people would want. That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah, honestly.
But it'd be cool to see like him return to Greece or do some kind of side thing with Greece. I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, not a big deal. But the other rumor, I heard about this. I think it was either today or yesterday, and that is apparently on Thursday, the 27th. We are getting a Nintendo Direct. Now, what kind of Direct? Nobody really knows, but apparently the prevailing thing is something is happening this week, but nobody knows what. You know, maybe it's weird because next week is the Switch 2 unveiling. We're finally there. It's right around the corner.
Maybe it's like the last like big drop for the Switch.
Or it could be like a little mini.
Oh, maybe. Like
a direct mini, a partner showcase. Like it could be fucking anything. You know? Because I think it was Xenoblade X is out now. And as far as I know, that was the last thing they had in the pipeline that had like a set date on it. Like we know Prime is coming, we know ZA is coming, but those are later in the year, and my guess is they'll be cross-gen. We know Mario Kart's coming with the Switch 2, but that's really all we know outside of assuming a 3D Mario will be there, which I think is a fair thing to assume. So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. So, but my guess is if they drop some, it might just be like oh, F-Zero GX is coming. Maybe they make a little trailer for it, which would be cute.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Speaking of things though that nobody asked for, Big Rigs is coming back apparently.
This was weird. This was weird seeing this. Like when I saw, Big Rigs was coming to Steam, my first thought was, we're really fucking doing this. Like,
I mean,
really?
we got Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, so I
this
can't
game
really...
is so much worse.
Well, yeah. There's... The thing with this one is like, when this got announced, there was so much discourse on whether it was real or not, to the point where the people who supposedly bought it had to come out and make a statement. And I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, because some people thought it was like an AI thing and it wasn't real. And then, because like they'd never heard of the company before. But yeah, as you said, the company, you said like, no, we bought. I mean, I can't imagine buying the rights to Big Rigs cost that much money. I can't imagine.
Game Mill is still around.
True, but I mean, they weren't going to do anything with it.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, if they wanted to, they would. It's a PC game. Like, it would have been easy just to throw it on Steam and be done with it. So I don't really know why they're doing this, other than, are we just at that point? Memes, I guess. I mean, I can't justify paying more than $1 for this game.
Even a $1.
Seriously.
Even $1 is too much.
I can live with $1. I mean, this might be one of the few instances of a game where I'm like, if you really want to play it and it's on Steam, just fucking pirate the thing. Like, it's really, like, if it's between 50 cents and $1, sure, right? That's not, I mean, you could buy so many better games on Steam for $1, but like, $1's not going to kill you, really.
If they try to pull some like $5 shit, I'm gonna be like, no.
I could see them going $5, and I'm just like, it's not worth it. No. So I'll throw it on the wish list, and when it's like dirt cheap, maybe I'll do it. But who knows?
$5 for an unwinnable racing game.
We can't get an official translation and release of fucking Police Knots or Mother 3 or all these other great games stuck in Japan, but we can get fucking Big Rigs on Steam. That is the world we live in.
So we can go in reverse at light speed.
Exactly.
You're actually, do you think they'll use the original Your Winner, or do you think they'll use the updated You Win?
Your Winner is in the screenshots.
Okay, so they're going to use the broken version where you literally can't lose.
Yeah. That sounds right to me.
Because I know the later patched version, the truck moves but stops before the finish line, and it says You Win instead.
Yeah. Which I'm surprised they even bothered to patch it back then.
Yeah, patch it.
Has the story of Big Rigs ever been like out? Like why it was made the way that it was?
No.
Because I need to know, why was this game made? Like, who made it? And like the lack of quality control, well, all that. I need to know the story. There has to be like a book on Big Rigs. I would read the book.
We know who made it, because he later went on to make that game like The War Z, or like Infestation, I think it's called now. Another infamously bad game.
I do not know. I guess I've never looked into it.
We know enough about the company behind it, Stellar Stone. Because the creator was like some Russian dude, I think.
Looking at the Wikipedia, the game was commissioned. The company was based in California, but they outsourced the development to Eastern European countries like Russia. So potentially Russia. It was developed by a team in the Ukraine.
Ukraine, that's where it was.
How relevant?
Sergey
from the country that gave us Stalker. We also got Big Rigs.
Yay. And some Civil War games, apparently.
Yeah. I was thinking about that History Channel Civil War game on 360 the other day. Like the first one, A Nation Divided, I believe was what it was called, because I played that as a kid. And I was like, I kind of want to try that again. Because I don't remember it being great, but being like passable. And I'm like, I kind of want to try it again because I know that World War II game they made, Battle for Pacific, was bad. People hated that one, so they got away with it because it was the Civil War and it was different.
See, my prediction for the Big Rigs re-release is going to be, it's going to come out, a bunch of people are going to buy it for memes, and then we're going to get a whole new like slew of people reviewing it unironically and being like, this game is shit. And we're going to be like, yeah, you're like 12 years late, bud.
I mean, I'll always remember the GameSpot video review for it. I think it was Alex Navarro did it.
Alex Navarro's review. That is the most iconic review of the game.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and that was fantastic. And AVGN also has that great video on it.
AVGN was fun because he like just took the piss out of it, and like it was.
Oh yeah, he knew. I think he used Big Rigs to exercise his comedic muscle a little bit.
That was,
and I think he did a good job. I think it's one of his like better episodes. Yeah. It's
one of his better newer ones. Some Call Me Johnny also did a really good review of the game, like where he actually broke it down. Most other reviews though are just like people that take it way too seriously, and I'm like, guys, it's a piece of shit trucker game. It's not like that big a deal, but
exactly, it's not that big a deal. So speaking of not that big of a deal, GOG has added 27 more PC games to its preservation program. That's nice though.
Yay.
There are some 3DO games in here. We got Alone in the Dark, the trilogy.
Nice.
And Cannon Fodder 1 and 2. I don't think Cannon Fodder 2 is on 3DO, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, but we got those alongside like Silent Hill 4 The Room, which is cool.
Nice.
A bunch of Tomb Raider games, a bunch of Ultima games, Wing Commander 1 and 2, Deus Ex, Fallout 2. So some good stuff there. So glad to see GOG is still pushing the PC preservation thing. So good for them.
All for game preservation.
Exactly. Even for fucking Big Rigs on Steam. Why not? Fuck it. Why not? It deserves to be there. Let's see. We got some NSO drops. Those are coming next week, I believe, or they should be out at the end of this week, I think. It's a bit of an interesting collection. It's all for SNES. And it's a bunch of like strategy games. So we've got Nabunga's Ambition, which is the Super Nintendo port of that game. And then Nabunga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, which I guess is in the same series. And these are some like old ass deep strategy games that don't do anything for me. But Bill, you go, please.
For anybody that wants to know about that series, we have got some of them later on. But one of the most bizarre crossovers I think we've ever gotten is actually based on this series. Pokemon Conquest, for anyone who remembers that, is actually based off Nabunga's Ambition. And is
that the Pokemon Fire Emblem clone?
It's like, the strategy game. It's like a crossover with
I like that game.
It's not bad. It's bizarre. Like, no, I don't know who asked for that, but
I did.
True. It's fair.
I sent a letter to Uncle Nintendo.
Yeah, it's a crossover with that series, though, which when I first read that, I was like, what series is this? And I was like, oh, I guess we did get some of these.
Yeah, that's cool to see them like doing some like weird kind of off the wall shit, but that's like interesting.
I saw Romance of the Three Kingdoms was one of them.
Yeah, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 4, Wall of Fire, which I believe there are some Romance of the Three Kingdoms weirdos out there. I've tried playing these games before. And they're just an impenetrable wall to me. I'm like, no, thank you. I struggle with strategy games in general, but like I can get the hang of Civ after a while. This, no, absolutely not. But I think this is considered the best one in the series. It's on 3DO. It has a 3DO version.
We'll have to play it someday.
It's Japan only though. So, but if you want us to cover Romance of the Three Kingdoms, please let us know. But the one that caught my eye the most was Uncharted Water New Horizons, which is I believe all these games are Koei, like Koei Tecmo, but like Koei was originally his own company. And this is like a Super Nintendo pirate JRPG.
I saw that and it looked really interesting to me. I kind of want to play it.
Friend of the show, Burger Champ, loves this game. Like it's I think it's his favorite Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis game because it has 2 different versions on it. And he fucking adores this game. Like he's talked it up to me a bunch. It's always been a game I've been wanting to sit down and try. I know the SNES and Genesis versions are different, but if I'm correct, if he listens to this, he will correct me. I believe it is his favorite Super Nintendo game of all time. which is saying something because he loves the Super Nintendo. And it's it looks really fucking cool. It's like Sid Meier's Pirates from that era, but like make it more JRPG is the best way I can describe it from what I've seen of it.
Okay.
And I do like Sid Meier's Pirates. That's a great game. Particularly the newer version on like Xbox or whatever. They should do another Sid Meier's Pirates, like a more modern one. I think that'd be fucking cool as hell.
I like the idea of a pirate RPG, to be perfectly honest, because like the only other ones I can think of are like Rogue Galaxy and
Rogue Galaxy's great.
Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia is great. I mean, just pirate games in general. Wind Waker, Black Flag, even Rogue to a certain extent. You know, like I do enjoy playing these kinds of games. There's not a huge amount of pirate games though.
No.
But the more the merrier for me. So yeah, so those are coming the end of this week, and I'll probably be checking out Uncharted Water because I'm definitely curious to it. And then the last thing that I saw was Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. It got a Switch port a couple years back. I bought it, and I've put quite a few hours into it. Me and my son really like it. It's also coming to Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, nice.
Which is awesome. I remember when that came to Switch. I believe it's on PC as well. I was like, that should come to the other consoles, and it is now, which is fantastic. I think it's out now on those systems. Yeah,
so you can get that and compare it to Planet Coaster and see how far Frontier has come.
Yeah, I Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 still holds some charm. You know, it's very simple. Yeah, I mean, if you want to play like a more like a modern one of these, yeah, Planet Coaster's way. I think Planet Coaster 2 came out not that long ago.
I believe so. Frontier's been killing it lately. So
yeah. I mean, you're fine with just Planet Coaster 1, and it has a shit ton of DLC for it, like a bunch of license. Like there's a whole Ghostbusters DLC and all this other stuff that I have yet to really sink my teeth into Planet Coaster, but I will one of these days. I played it for a few hours and really dug it.
Yeah,
so it definitely is the Roller Coaster Tycoon I always wanted. So, but it's cool to see Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 making all those, and who knows, maybe one of these days we'll get another good Roller Coaster Tycoon game, but probably
maybe
not. I think Planet Coaster is just the de facto one now.
Yeah,
it's like we're not going to get another theme park or theme hospital, so we'll get 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Museum, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and that's all I had.
We got the Nintendo Music. That was the only other thing.
What is it? I don't see it. Or at least
so it's a
Kirby's Dream Land?
Nope. You're on the right track, not Dreamland.
Did I completely pass it by?
It's on the more modern side.
Oh, Kirby in the Forgotten Land?
Yeah, that dropped today.
Oh, again, I just thought it was.
Yeah, I know. Anytime they drop a Switch game, I'm like,
you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't there?
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for that because I liked Forgotten Lands.
That's all we're getting. Oh, Forgotten Land was great. That was my game of the year. What was that, 22?
That was just the thing we'd all wanted, like a 3D Kirby game, and then they finally did, and everyone was like, "Thank you, Nintendo.
Do more of it." And my guess is they are doing another one. I think I've mentioned it before, but I have a whole pitch for how to do how to do another 3D Kirby game. Like I have an whole idea for it. Like Nintendo, if you're listening, I can pitch you a 3D Kirby game that I think would be really cool. But who knows? It would be a way of blending. Like there are some people who want to return to like Dreamland 1, where you don't have the copy ability, right? A little bit of that, a little bit of the Metroidvania stuff from Amazing Mirror and Forgotten Land. Like taking those three games and kind of squishing them together to make like an interesting kind of story progression, game progression type of thing. I think it would be neat.
No, yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. So we're finally here.
Oh boy. we're talking about
oh man.
We're talking about Johnny Bazookatone, or as I titled this StreamYard's room, Johnny Buzz whatever.
Johnny Buzzcut. No, he's got the pompadour. I didn't put a little name here, and it was the first time because I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah,
And
this
it's man, this game kind of pisses me off, actually. But we can get into that.
so it's one of the 4 platformers released on 3DO.
What are the other ones? Oh,
So
there's Gex, Soccer Kid, this. What's the other one?
there's one other one. I just had it at the tip of my tongue and I completely forgot about it.
Is it Japan only?
I don't think so. I believe it was released over here. What game was this? I mean, unless you count like Flashback or Another World as a platformer, but
Not really.
there was one other one I saw, but it's eluding me right now. That's gonna bother me. Either way,
just hang in there, kiddos. We'll eventually figure it out.
I'll remember it at some point, or not. Anyways, yeah, but Johnny Bazookatone, it is it was a platformer created in '96, originally on 3DO, and then later pretty quickly ported to DOS, PlayStation, and Saturn.
Yeah. You can tell this was made near the end of the 3DO's life.
Yes,
because I did try to play this on 3DO on emulator, and I found the game did not run super well, or just something about it felt off to me. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I switched over to the Saturn version.
yes,
and it had a much better time with it. It ran a lot better. I mean, it doesn't run terribly on 3DO, but something about it was like, it's like the system is struggling to run this game for some reason, or at least that's what it came off as to me. And then when I put it on Saturn, I was like, oh, no problem. Ran like a charm.
Phoenix 3. That's the name of the game.
Phoenix 3. I have never heard of that.
I haven't either. I watched a review for Johnny Bazookatone, and they mentioned it as one of the platformers. Apparently, it's a
whoa. What the? It has Studio 3DO on it. Holy shit!
Supposedly that's the other platformer on the system that we'll probably get to at some point.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's got FMV cutscenes too. Holy shit!
Speaking of FMV cutscenes, in Johnny Bazookatone, did you notice how the opening cinematic shows all the fucking cutscenes from the game?
Yeah. That opening cinematic kind of hurt me to look at because it was a lot. It was a lot to take in.
So a little background on this game. It was created by Arc Developments.
Yes, Arc Developments, who have some other games under their belts.
Although they're apparently best known for making Johnny Bazookatone.
Yeah, apparently. So they have games like Forgotten Worlds, WWF European Rampage Tour, Crackdown, but not that Crackdown, a different Crackdown.
So apparently, reading this, they're mostly known as a porting studio. Like most of these games were ports.
Yes, because they're credited for Bart versus the Space Mutants, but mainly the Sega ports of that game. Because the original was done by
Imagineering, I think.
Imagineering. Yeah, you're right. It was Imagineering. Yeah, like Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the Addams Family Game Gear game. I've played that. I know about that game. It's kind of whatever. So yeah, it looks like they handle a lot of they're a UK based studio, so they handle a lot of like computer stuff, like the ZX or the ZX Spectrum, the Amiga, the Atari ST,
the Commodore.
And later went on to the Genesis, because if I remember correctly, the Genesis or the Mega Drive did really well in Europe.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They made that golf game that we played earlier.
Which golf game? Oh, World Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the ambitious one.
The one that was ambitious but kind of shit.
Yeah. But I gave that game some respect for trying something a little different.
Yeah, that's the only other game that I noticed here that.
Interesting, yeah. But yeah, an interesting dev that only lasted 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
Also, an interesting note on their Wikipedia page is apparently they would rarely put credits in their games for whatever reason.
yeah, who knows why? Maybe the only thing I could guess is maybe because they were a porting studio. That part of like the contract was you couldn't put your name in the credits or something like that. Maybe they just got screwed over, which happens a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah. The only other thing of note that I was reading while doing research on this was apparently the opening, like the title track for the game, featured guitar and keyboard work from, or maybe drums. I'm not sure which Bon Jovi member, but apparently Richie Sambora and Tico Torres contributed to the opening title track for this game.
Well, that's cute.
So that's a thing.
Sounds like a thing, yeah.
I don't know which instrument Tico Torres plays. Sorry.
I'm not a Bon Jovi fan. I'm not going to pretend to be one. I think they kind of suck.
The only song that gets stuck in my head on a routinely basis is "It's My Life," and that's probably not because I like it, probably just because it's annoying.
There's a better "It's My Life" out there. It's by a band called Talk Talk. You all have probably heard it. You've heard the cover version by No Doubt. Like that song is amazing. So Talk Talk is better than Bon Jovi. Controversial statement. R.I.P. Mark Hollis. Anyways, yeah, so this game, I was really looking forward to this one because, 2D platformers, I like 2D platformers, and I was like, hey, this will be fun to play, like a fucking game, right? And I booted up. I'm like, this is weird, but, 90s, whatever, no big deal. Yeah, the drummer's going nuts in the main menu, and you start the game, and you're in a graveyard, like a cemetery scene, much like Gex, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Gex was an influence on this game, but it might have been. It might have been. But there were two other games I noticed influence of pretty quickly. One was Donkey Kong Country.
Yep.
Which I think comes down to like, using the pre-rendered 3D visuals, which was very, hot shit at the time. A lot of other companies are doing it. Vector Man on the Genesis is a prime example.
Clockwork
Night on the Saturn. So there it was in vogue at the time to be something to do because, Donkey Kong Country was a big success in terms of, being, selling well. But as a game, different argument. The other game is Earthworm Jim.
Yeah,
I caught a lot of
run and gun elements. Yeah,
with the run and gun elements, and much like Earthworm Jim itself, the run and gun isn't very good. If you guys have watched my Genesis streams, which are archived on my YouTube channel, I play Earthworm Jim. I am not a fan of Earthworm Jim for a lot of reasons, but Earthworm Jim at least has like solid platforming and like half decent controls. This game, it really fails in that department, right? Like it has a couple interesting ideas, like the whole so your character has like a pompadour. He's meant to be like a musician, I think, and he's like trapped in like a prison. And the whole first set of the game is you trying to get out of the prison, right? And you have this like guitar that's also a gun or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's doing the Earthworm Jim thing. And much like Earthworm Jim with the run and gunning, half the time you're not quite sure what to aim at on the enemy. There's no bullets like Earthworm Jim where you have an ammo count. You don't worry about that here. But like the first enemies you meet are those skeletons with the skulls, right? And they throw the skulls at you and always perfectly hit you every time.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times I didn't know where to hit them that I thought you couldn't hit them. I thought it's impossible. You can't hit these guys.
And then
you can.
Yep, you discovered what I discovered, probably, I'm guessing.
Well, how I discovered you could shoot them was because I was just aiming up at them. But if I just kept it center and just aimed at their feet, they'd be fine.
Oh, so I figured out a different method.
Well, was it like the main move of the game?
The spin attack.
There's a fucking spin attack?
Yeah. If you hit the
How the hell do you do the spin attack?
You hit the R button, which is also the run button.
That's a spin attack? I thought that was just you would charge up.
If you tap it, I think you do like this weird like spin and it kills them
even
in
if
one
you
shot.
Well, even if you hold it, it does a spin.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just meant to be like, oh, he's getting ready to run. I didn't know that was an attack.
That's an attack because you can one shot them with it. And I was like, oh, well, that
Oh,
makes it
that
easier.
did not know that. Did not know that.
I had to look up a guide because I was like, I can't beat the first enemy. What do I do? And someone
Well,
said,
I read through them. I looked up the manual. And so, and in the manual, like it just mentions the run. I don't know if it mentions the spin attack, but
no.
it also mentions that like you have like I think it's if you push like C on like the Saturn or even the 3DO controller, your gun shoots out like a wave beam or something, but there's really no reason to do it because you have unlimited machine gun bullets, so you might as well just use those.
Yeah.
And
Also,
it's just,
running and when you use the run, it makes the game unplayable.
yes, that's where it turns into Bubsy, because Bubsy has the same fucking problem when you try to run or gain any sort of momentum. You just die instantly. And the problem is like the level design in this game is not based around speed at all. It's just meant to be an action platformer. That's all it's really meant to be. And that's fine. The level design I didn't particularly care for.
But
like when you when you see that first tower with the vines wrapping around it, I thought you had to jump over it on the top.
Yeah.
But what I learned, if you just go on ground floor, you can just walk right under it and you're fine.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off. And then later on, you're climbing like the stairs and you're going up the floors in the jail cell. And that was just like a maze for no reason with the various keys that open doors and like falling platforms. And it's just weird. And also the enemy placement is really, really bad. Like,
and ironically, in the 3DO version, it's worse.
I believe that. Like,
I think they reduced the enemies for PlayStation and Saturn.
That's probably why I was able to get past the first level. In 3DO, I couldn't get past the first level.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. In Saturn, I was able to get to, I think it was like level 4 or 5 before I kind of gave up.
Yeah, I got like halfway through and I was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah. And it's a shame because it's like, I feel like there is a good game in here somewhere, but like your jump isn't very good. Like you have a very weak ass jump. And half the time you have to hold the run button to actually get any sort of distance.
You kind of have this weird hover jump thing if you shoot down.
Yeah, if you shoot down, you can do this weird hover that also like attacks enemies below you, which is nice.
It reminded me of an indie game that came out years later. I can't remember what it's called right now.
But my issue with it was it felt very cumbersome to use. Because half the time it's like I would be holding R to run, and then I hit B to jump, and then I have to hold A also to like shoot, and then you're trying to maneuver the D-pad, and it just felt really awkward to use. Like it's definitely effective, especially when there's a lot of enemies that are like really small, you know, and you can't really shoot them straight on ahead, so you have to like do this weird jump attack thing to even hurt them. And then there are like a handful of enemies that I don't think you can hit at all, unless they are prone to the wave attack, and I didn't try it. Like the two dogs
or the spinning attack, because apparently that works.
Yeah, because like it was like the dogs, you know, like the dogs that came after you. I couldn't kill them, and I didn't know what to do, so I would just jump over them, which seemed to work. And then there's like this weird, like walking horn thing.
Yeah.
That, again, I couldn't figure out how to kill that thing either, but it doesn't try to attack you, so you just kind of go past it. And there's just some about this game that's just it like, why is it this way? Like it feels so reflective of that era of like, oh, we got to make like a side-scrolling game because that's what the kids want, and it's taking influence from a handful of games. But in doing so, they forgot to make a good game at the core of it. Like at least Gex, at its core, is a good game. It's not perfect, but it's able to really, like, the gameplay kind of hangs together in a consistent way, and it has enough interesting ideas to be its own thing and has influences from other things, but it all kind of works together. Like at the end of the day, it's like a solid game, and it's finished. Yeah. Whereas this game just it feels like they got way into all of these little ideas instead of just making the core of the game actually fun and engaging to play.
Yeah.
And I found myself frustrated more than anything playing this game. And there were moments where I'm like, okay, it might get better, but I mean, if it gets better later on, I genuinely don't know. But I don't want to play this game ever again because it makes such a bad first impression.
Like, honestly, the whole time playing it, I was just like, the thing that was in my head the entire time I was playing this was, I wish I was playing Gex, because at least Gex I was having fun.
I mean, there are so many other like 2D
Even-
action platformers from this era
Even
that I would
Soccer
play over.
Kid
I mean,
was better.
yeah, Soccer Kid also was like, I really want to play that game again because Soccer Kid was such a unique idea, and it feels a lot more. It feels much more competently made than this. I mean, hell, I think it's much more competently made than quite a few of the games we've played in the last couple months.
Yeah, I think we were a bit harsh on that game, to be honest. When we first
yeah, it's definitely a game I want to go back to and try to play it again because there was definitely something there. You know what I mean? It was still like kind of frustrating and it had its own issues, but it feels like the game designers were trying to make sure that the game was, you know, good at the end of the day. Whereas I feel like these guys kind of lost the plot after a while, you know, that they had.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, it feels almost like ADHD brain. Like, oh, we're going to do this and do that and do that. You know, like they wanted to do all these other things, you know, and it's like, cool. But like, what about the fundamentals? And they kind of forgot about it. Like, as I said, it's a platforming game, and jumping and platforming does not feel good at all. Not at all. Especially in that stairwell bit where the game does not do a good job of determining when you're on the next floor or when you're going to the stairs. And I would get mixed up so much, and then it would kill me half the time because, again, the enemy placement is just dog shit.
Yeah, like another thing I found too that was interesting while I was playing it was like it felt kind of just incomplete at times. Like even like the main character, like he feels really AI-ish, like not super fleshed out and just kind of generic.
Yeah, like his only personality is this purple pompadour.
Yeah, he's like a rock star, but he looks like a background character in like some like math game that you'd play online in like elementary school.
Yeah, when really, yeah. Or even like just some random fucking like Happy Days or something.
Yeah, like it just like nothing about this game was super, like even the soundtrack is very, the opening song is
the music.
Okay.
I give the music credit for trying to like be kind of different.
Yeah, like it's,
you know,
it's
especially like the sound. Yeah, and the sound design's kind of interesting. The way it handles like progression through the game, and things like that. Like I could kind of vibe to it, you know, but it's just not really enough. And yeah, like the game doesn't do a good job of like teaching you anything. You know, I mean, yeah, a lot of games back then were like you have to read the manual, but you know, as we've said before, great games should, you know, don't need the manual to tell you how the game works. Like you can just kind of figure it out as you go. Like hell, even like Gex, you can kind of figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
And also there's, you know, little tutorials here and there. And I think Gex does a much better job of explaining how the game works, and the level design feels more akin to that. Whereas the level design does not feel that at all. It's just kind of throwing shit at you and just hoping you can figure it out.
Yeah. The difficulty was honestly my biggest like gripe. I was like, why is this game just so unnecessarily challenging?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, this game does not need to be this hard, like at all. And like, if it was near the end of the game and it was being this shitty, fair enough. You've made it that far. It should be more difficult. But like at the start of the game, it's ridiculous, man.
Like the most confusing thing to me when I was playing this too was like the main menu. I don't know if it was like this on the Saturn version, but there was two options. There was home and then there was hell.
Yeah.
And home is the to continue button and hell is the new game start button. I was like, how appropriate.
I'm pretty sure it's the same on Saturn. I'm pretty sure. I think, yeah, like the menu system is the same, but like the 3DO has more stylish fonts.
Yeah.
Whereas like Saturn, it's more like kind of plain text, but it functions the exact same way.
Yeah, it was like a weird setup. Like, I mean, I know most 3DO menus are weird inherently, but this one was just very odd.
Yeah. It almost feels like if this game was like a SNES Genesis type of action platformer, it would probably be better. So I think maybe the limitations of those machines would have allowed them to maybe make something a little bit better. Whereas maybe this game, they were too caught up in like the technology of the time to make a game that kind of capitalized on that when they forgot to make a game that was any good. Like there's a reason this game is completely forgotten to time.
Yeah, honestly, like I think the only reason we even know about it is because of the fact that it's on 3DO.
Yeah, and it was a 2D platform, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I was hoping this would be a bit of a hidden gem, but
I know.
it just wasn't, man.
We've been striking out with these things recently.
I had a feeling we would at some point, you know, that like these forgotten consoles are going to have a lot of mid on them.
Yeah.
But this isn't even mid. I kind of wish this was mid because then I probably would have made it through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to try to beat this, but I just could not bring myself to do it.
This one wasn't even like entertainingly bad. Like,
no.
I got a chuckle out of Cyberdillo, not because it was good, just because it was so fucking stupid.
Siberia was fucking insane.
Well, Siberia
I dug the shit out of it for being so wacky.
Siberia was worth it just for that story. Like, what the? Like, there's so many questions there.
Like, that's the shit I look for on this console. Like the what the fuck random weird stuff. And this is almost that, but it's presenting itself as more of a game. And that's kind of where it fails for me.
Yeah, it has that problem that so many companies had during this era where they would make a platformer and it would just be so mediocre that like...
Yeah, like they were making platformers because it was the big thing, Mario, Sonic, all that good stuff. I totally get it. And there's a shit ton of 2D platformers from this era, all varying degrees of quality, right? I mean, hell, even now we're still getting like 2D platformers, various degrees of quality as well. I mean, we've always really have been getting them. It was only in like that late 90s, early 2000s period going into like the PS2 where it felt like 2D games were completely out of vogue.
Yeah, that was when like the RPG revolution was going on, and it was like everything.
Well, everyone wanted 3D. True. Everyone just wanted 3D games. Like we were still getting platformers, but we were getting 3D ones. And it was really when we hit the 360 with XBLA that 2D games were allowed to make a comeback. Like the one that I remember was Super Meat Boy. That was sort of the game that made everyone go, no, 2D games on consoles are great, and we could totally do this again. You know, and it kind of entered into a new, like, kind of the indie era, which we still kind of live in to this day, really. But it has definitely evolved from there.
Oh, yeah. Like, I still think one of my favorite 2D platformers of recent times is Thomas Was Alone, where it's a game you literally play as pixels.
Yeah, I've heard that game is great. Stuff like Limbo and Inside, I really enjoy as well. Like, they're 2D platformers, but, you know, they operate in a different manner. I've heard like people really like Katana Zero and a lot of the stuff Devolver does.
Yeah.
There's Shovel Knight, of course, which is a masterpiece. You know, like it's great to know that we live in a world where you can still make these weird, wacky 2D platformer games and they'll have an audience and people will be there to dig them, you know?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if back then you played games like Johnny Bazookatone and we're like, oh, this genre is dying. It's out. It's running out of steam. We're moving on to like the next thing. Because by the time, okay, this was pre Mario 64. I'm pretty sure
this was 96.
It was 96.
Right around the same time.
When did the N64 come out in 96? Was it like September?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like right before that. But I could imagine when Mario 64 came out, the entire opinion on 2D games flipped.
Yeah.
Especially for a while. I mean, you still had like Mischief Makers and things, you know, there were still some good ones coming out, but they were few and far between.
Yeah, like the best 2D platformers from that era were the ones that no one remember. Like, well, people remember them, but they were super obscure at the time, like Mischief Makers, Klonoa, Tomba, like all those games. Yeah,
games that were just really trying to fine-tune what that genre was, but approach it from like an angle of this doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world, but let's, you know, just make something that works, you know. And those games have developed big cult followings. I say with my Klonoa water bottle. So, but yeah, like I was just hoping it would be one of those games that like got lost to time, but it was actually like really cool. And there's definitely elements here that could work, but like it needs to have more of a focus on platforming, reduce the difficulty, have some more interesting level design, and I think you could have something like if it was on par with Earthworm Jim, it would be a better game.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big Earthworm Jim guy, but it is a much better game than this because it does better at succeeding what it's trying to do.
Hell, I'd play Bug before I play this.
I kind of like Bug, actually. Bug is weird as shit, though.
Bug's a weird take on a 3D platformer, but I still kind of like it.
That to me is like a 2.5D game.
Yeah.
It kind of like that's a game that falls neatly in the 2.5D realm. I don't
It's
think
actually
people
kinda
really
like-
throw it in there, but to me it feels 2.5D.
It's kind of like Klonoa if you could move back and forward slightly.
Yeah, for sure. But that's the
speaking
thing. In '96, there were some more interesting platformers. I mean, hell, Vector Man 2 came out this year, and that is a
Oh.
far better game than this.
Gex was like right before this. I mean,
Yeah, Gex, and there were still some really good 2D platformers coming out in this time. They're just, they definitely were, they were about to be obsolete in quotes
yeah.
for a while, but it just was, it was just the time,
Speaking of reception, though, I found it very amusing that EGM was the highest rating like I could find, where they gave it a 7.625 because it needs to be that specific out of 10.
God, I hate when fucking companies do that shit.
Sega Saturn magazine gave it a 53.
Yeah, that feels right.
Next Generation 3 out of 5 stars. All Game 3 out of 5 stars. Maximum gave it 1 out of 5 stars. Good for them.
Ooh.
Most reviews, they praised the sharply detailed graphics. I don't know about that.
I mean, for the time, the character models look okay, but I don't know. By this era, we were getting, like, I just looked up, like, platformers from 96, and we had, like, Kirby Superstar, Donkey Kong Country 3, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider, Mega Man 8, Jumping Flash.
Jumping Flash.
Like Pandemonium. Hell.
Pandemonium, Clockwork
Yeah.
Knight.
Yeah, Clockwork Knight, fucking 3D Black, the Toy Story, Mr. Bones.
Yeah,
Oh, Mr. Bones. I wish that was a 3DO game.
I know.
It feels like a 3DO game. I mean, yeah, like there were so many other, like Bug 2, freaking, like game. Bubsy 3D was the same year. And that is a more interesting game than this.
Bubsy 3D at least tries to do something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it succeeds or not is totally up for debate. But,
Exactly. But like a lot of the games I brought up, I'm like, those look so much better. And some of those are like, hell, DKC3 looks so much better.
yeah.
I mean, you had like some of the early 3D stuff and then some like really nice 2D stuff like Mega Man 8 and Kirby Superstar. Like that still looks good by today's standards.
Hell, Mega Man X4 through 6 all look great.
Yeah. I think X4 was around the same time.
Around 96, I believe. 96, 97, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah. So
The best.
So the graphics is like, I don't know about that. There's definitely a lot of better looking games at that time.
Yeah. The most common complaints with most of these reviews are the controls, which, yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's just he needs to. It feels like they copied the control scheme from Earthworm Jim.
But it's more sluggish somehow.
And it's more sluggish, and the level design is not really based around Earthworm Jim. Because at least with Earthworm Jim, the level design is much more catered to what he's capable of, so you don't notice it nearly as bad. I can't believe I'm defending Earthworm Jim.
I don't know who Scary Larry is, but apparently he gave the 3DO version
What a name.
but criticized the awkward controls and lack of gameplay innovation.
Apparently he was a reviewer for Game Pro back in the day.
Game Pro, okay.
Stupid name.
His biggest praise was the mixture of funk and house music, which sure.
I think the soundtrack is interesting. I'll give it that. Lack of gameplay innovation, sure, but like, I mean, I don't know what you could do to innovate it. I just have ideas to just improve what we have.
True. I mean, when I think of the other two platformers on 3DO we've played, I mean, Soccer Kid at least had the very unique soccer ball mechanic.
Yeah, like that's a really cool idea. That
And then
I think my biggest issue was it didn't feel completely fleshed out, but
yeah,
I didn't play the game to the end, so who knows? Maybe they do some more interesting things with it. See, that's an idea that I would like to see indie devs do now, like a soccer kid 2D platformer. Like, imagine what modern indie devs could do with that idea. They could probably create something really interesting with it.
or even like Gex being able to like stick to all the different surfaces. Like that's just a
Oh
cool
yeah, like
for a
that.
platformer.
Yeah, like it puts a new twist on 2D platforming without having to reinvent the wheel. Like you can still have similar level design, but do it in kind of its own funky way, and it allows it to have an identity that stands out from everything else.
This game reminds me of the Wayne's World game on NES or SNES, where like Garth or
I
Wayne
totally
has
see it. I
has like a
totally see it. I
guitar
do.
gun for some reason.
Not worthy. Not that game is awful.
Yeah. Or Sonic fucking Underground with the fucking guitar guns. Because for sure.
Sure, yeah. People thought guitar guns was cool.
I mean, you either have guitar gun or you have gun blade. I mean, your choice.
I choose death.
Oh man. But
Yeah. It's a shame, man. Again, this is just another in the list recently of games that I'm like, man, I hope this is like kind of cool, but it just really didn't. It didn't.
It's weird how lately, like the ones I've had no expectations for have been really good, and then the ones I've had hope for have been not.
Yeah, maybe that's me. Maybe it's just me putting too much hope into these random games.
Like
When
I
really
thought,
just kind of just let them be what they are.
I thought Siberia was going to be just a generic shoot 'em up, and then I found it's a fucking like whatever the hell that game's supposed to be.
that was a ride, and I enjoyed it. Again, it wasn't an amazing game, but it's a memorable game.
The story alone, like no, I don't think we'll ever see a game be that batshit insane.
No, that's not a game you can make today.
No.
You know what I mean? Like that style. Even if you tried to do it ironically, it just wouldn't hit the same way. Like it needs to be made by guys who think they're making the coolest shit in the world. Like that's what it has to be. And this doesn't really do that. So
yeah, not at all.
I just want to play Mr. Bones now.
I know, right? Or Clock. Actually, I kind of want to play Clockwork Knight.
Yeah, I'd be down with that.
But must play. Okay, stay away. I mean, stay away. Easy.
Yeah. I was gonna try to be nice and go okay on it, but the more we talk about it, it's unfortunately a stay away.
Like I can't even be nice when legit my entire thought process was literally I'd rather play something else.
Yeah, like I love 2D platformers. These games are like my bread and butter. They're what I know. But I just could not get that much enjoyment out of this one, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like as I'm playing it, I'm like like the core of it, there is potential here. There's absolutely potential for this to be like good. But it just needs to fix like 300 things and it would be good. You know? It's on the precipice of being okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so that being said, what should we cover next week?
I
had a thought, but it'd be kind of a caveat if we could get the guest for it.
What were you thinking?
Well, we mentioned him earlier in the episode, but I was kind of thinking maybe we try to get Matt for Primal Rage.
You know what? That sounds great. So Matt, aka Stormageddon, if you're listening, well, we've probably already asked you, but yeah, let's do Primal Rage. I'm ready.
Yeah. So I'll reach out to them as soon as I can, and we'll see how we'll plan for that one. If not, we'll think of something. But
if not, we'll do Microcosm. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that is on this.
I could talk about Rick Wakeman.
Hell yeah. But yeah. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us on the 3DO experience. Well, thanks for listening to us complain about another game.
Well, if you tune into 3DO, it's a safe assumption we're going to bitch about certain things.
We were more interested in talking about big rigs. How about that?
Maybe we'll do a 3D on big rigs.
Honestly, be down.
Oh, but God, don't make
that
me.
Being said, speaking of 3D owned, at the time that this comes out, that'll actually be coming out next Tuesday, the last day of the month. So look out for that. And other than that, guys, you can find us on Apple Podcast and Spotify, or the Superpod Network. Always check us out there, superpodnetwork.com. You can find a ton of different shows, videos, blogs. We're currently doing a series of blogs on PS1 games. I had a blog on Tiny Tank, and Thrak today had a blog on Medal of Honor. So be sure to check those out.
Oh yes, a good game.
2 good games.
Oh yeah, I still need to sit down and mess around with Tiny Tank. I just haven't done it yet.
I also want to do a shout out to a friend of the show, Danny. She has a new series coming out on YouTube where she is actually doing readings of some of the blogs from Superpod. So she just had an episode on Thrak's review of Echo the Dolphin that came out. So be sure to check that out as well.
I'm everywhere.
Other than that, though, yeah, once again, guys, thank you for joining us. We will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?